Listen to me. Life, real life, it doesn't wait for anyone to be ready. It doesn't pause for you to catch your breath. It throws curveballs. It throws fire. But here's the thing. You don't conquer life by pointing fingers at the storm. You conquer it by walking through the storm with your head high and your heart set. Everybody can talk about what's wrong. That's easy. It's the system. It's my past. It's bad luck. Okay, but what are you gonna do about it? You see, it's not the problem that defines you. It's your response. It's the solution you chase. Your character is not built when everything's going great. It's built when the walls close in, and you still choose to find a way out. Let me tell you something. You are more powerful than the problem, but only if you believe it. Only if you stop feeding fear and start feeding faith. Only if you stop replaying the failure and start rewriting the future. Don't wait for motivation. It won't always be there. Get disciplined, build habits, make your solution bigger than your excuse. Take one step, then another, speak life, think bigger, pray harder, grind smarter. And don't you dare quit. Quitting is easy, that's why everybody does it. But greatness shows up in people who refuse to stay down, who refuse to be defined by the problem. You've got a gift. You've got purpose. Now stop wasting time talking about what's broken and start building what's possible. Focus on solutions. That's how you change your life. That's how you change the world. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't knock politely and ask if now's a good time. It shows up. Sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, but always real, and it doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't slow down just because you're unsure. There will be moments when you feel like you're not prepared, moments where everything inside you says, I'm not ready. But those moments are the ones that matter most, because growth doesn't happen in comfort. Change doesn't come when you feel safe. It comes when you step out anyway, when your hands are shaking, when your heart is pounding, when your knees are weak, but you walk forward anyway. You see, waiting for the perfect time is just another way to stall. There is no perfect time, there is only now, only this moment, and this moment demands action, not perfection, not certainty, just movement. You don't have to know all the answers to take the first step. You don't have to feel confident to show up. You just have to show up, because motion builds momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The more you move, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you realize you didn't need to be ready. You just needed to begin. See, the people who go far in life aren't the ones who waited for everything to be right. They're the ones who started while it was all wrong. They built while it was raining. They worked while they were tired. They believed while they were still doubting, because deep down they knew something. They knew readiness is a lie, and faith is a decision. You decide to trust yourself. You decide to move even when the path is blurry. You decide to face the hard stuff head on, and you keep going. That's what separates those who talk from those who build. That's what separates those who wish from those who win. Not luck, not talent, not timing, but the courage to take the step. Right now, even when it hurts, even when it's messy, even when the voice in your head tells you to wait. Don't wait, move, push, show up for your own life. Because life won't stop for your fear. It won't pause for your comfort. It won't wait for your permission. But if you rise despite everything trying to hold you down, you'll find something powerful on the other side. Not because you were ready, but because you were willing. You're defined by how you respond to challenges, not the challenges themselves. Life will test you. It will throw setbacks, heartbreak, failure, rejection, sometimes all at once. And you can't always control what comes your way, but you can control how you respond. That's where your power is. Not in what happens asterisk to asterisk you, but in what you do next. Two people can face the same storm. One drowns in it, the other learns to swim, same storm, different response. That's what makes the difference between defeat and development, between breaking down and breaking through. You see, everyone faces pain. Everyone deals with struggle, but not everyone chooses to rise from it. You can let a challenge define you, or you can use it to refine you. You can let it crush you, or you can let it build your strength. You decide what story that challenge will tell, not with your words, but with your actions. When everything is falling apart, who are you? When the plan fails, what do you become? When the doors close, how do you show up? That's who you really are, not when things are easy, not when the road is clear, but when it's dark, when it's uncertain, when nothing makes sense. That's when your character is revealed. That's when your courage speaks the loudest. Most people wait for the problem to pass, but strong people walk through it. They face it, they fight, they fall, but they get back up. They don't let the challenge write their story, they write it themselves. And they write it in sweat, in faith, in resilience. So the question is not, why is this happening to me? The question is, who am I going to be in the face of this? You get to choose. You can choose bitterness or growth. You can choose blame or responsibility. You can choose the excuse or the effort. And every time you choose strength over surrender, you become more than the challenge. You become proof that struggle doesn't mean stop. That pain doesn't mean powerless. That falling doesn't mean finished. The world may try to label you by your failures, by your mistakes, by your obstacles. But none of that defines you unless you let it. You define you with your choices, with your mindset, with your ability to rise again and again. Let the challenge come, let it push you, let it stretch you, but never let it break who you are, because the challenge is just the fire. And you were built to walk through it. Your power comes from belief, discipline, and faith, not luck. Luck is what people talk about when they don't understand the work you put in. Luck is the word they use when they weren't there for the grind. They didn't see the early mornings, they didn't see the late nights, they didn't see the failures you had to push through. They just see the result and they call it luck. But you and I both know better. You know, it was belief that kept you going when everything said stop. It was belief that told you you've got something inside of you the world hasn't seen yet. It was belief that reminded you, even on your worst days, that this mountain can be moved. But belief alone isn't enough. You need discipline. Discipline is what shows up when motivation walks out. It's what gets you moving when you're tired, when you're hurting, when you feel like quitting. Discipline says, we do this anyway. It doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you to show up, day after day, hour after hour. It's not pretty. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. Because discipline turns dreams into reality. Discipline makes sure that belief isn't just talk. It makes it action. And then there's faith. Faith is what keeps you anchored when the world feels like it's falling apart. Faith tells you, even when you can't see the way forward, there is a way. Faith tells you, even when you've been knocked down, there's still something greater waiting. It's not about having all the answers. It's about trusting the process. It's about walking when there's no map. It's about showing up, not because the outcome is guaranteed, but because you believe it's possible. And when you combine all three, belief, discipline, and faith, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop depending on chance. You stop hoping for a break and start building your own. You stop wishing and start working, because your power is not a gift from luck. It's a result of everything you've decided to become. It's a reflection of your mindset, your habits, your perseverance, and no one can take that from you. People will doubt you. People will call it lucky. Let them, because you'll know the truth. You'll know what it took. You'll know how many times you had to choose faith over fear, discipline over distraction, belief over doubt. And that's where your real strength lies. Not in luck, but in the fire you walked through, in the choices you made when nobody was watching, in the quiet moments when you could have quit, but didn't. Motivation fades. It's exciting in the beginning. It gives you energy. It makes you feel like you're ready to take on the world. But motivation doesn't last. It's a spark, not a fire. It shows up when things feel good, when the vision is fresh, when the goal is new. But what happens when it gets hard? What happens when it's cold outside and your body aches and nobody's cheering you on? That's when motivation disappears. That's when it goes quiet. And that's when discipline takes over. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Discipline shows up when you don't want to. It keeps pushing when the excitement is gone. It keeps working when the emotions have dried up. Discipline says we committed, so we continue. Real change isn't made when you feel like it. Real change happens in the moments when you don't, in the moments when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when your mind is screaming to stop. But you keep going anyway. That's where the breakthrough is. That's where the transformation lies, not in the highs, but in the consistency. In the boring, in the difficult, in the repetition. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Anyone can start something, but very few finish, because finishing takes grit. It takes structure. It takes sacrifice. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to follow through. Do the work even when you're uninspired, even when it's slow, even when there's no instant reward. Because every time you choose discipline, you build strength. You build habits, you build trust with yourself, and that trust becomes unshakable. It becomes your foundation. Discipline teaches you that you're capable, not because someone told you, but because you proved it to yourself over and over. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from being a slave to your emotions. It frees you from waiting on motivation that may never come. You don't need more motivation. You need a decision to commit, a decision to push, a decision to keep showing up no matter what. Because when the motivation runs out, and it will, you need something stronger to carry you through. And that something is discipline. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it delivers results. It transforms your life, one step, one habit, one day at a time. That's the real power, not in how loud you start, but in how steady you stay. You must act, not react. You must move with intention, not emotion, because reacting is easy, it's automatic. It's what happens when you let the world push you around, when you let circumstances decide your next step. But action, that's different. Action is a choice. Action is controlled. Action is power. When you react, you give away your power. You let the problem dictate your mindset. You let fear, anger, or frustration drive your decisions. And that never leads to progress. It leads to chaos. It leads to confusion. It leads to regret. But when you act deliberately, calmly, consistently, you take back control. You set the tone. You build step by step. Solutions don't come from panic. They don't come from complaining. They don't come from reacting emotionally every time something goes wrong. Solutions come from forward motion, from focused effort, from staying grounded when everything around you is shaking. You can't solve a problem if all you do is react to it. You have to step back, breathe, think, then move forward with purpose, with direction, with discipline. Real progress is built through repetition. One solid step at a time, not through bursts of panic, not through chaos, not through blame. Consistent forward motion is what separates those who get stuck from those who rise. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. About showing up even when you don't feel ready, about taking action that brings you closer to a solution, no matter how small. You don't climb a mountain by jumping to the top. You do it step by step, carefully, patiently, relentlessly. You adjust when needed, but you keep moving. You keep acting, not reacting, because reacting is passive. It's what happens when you give the situation control. But action is ownership. Action is power, it says. I don't care how bad it looks. I'm still moving forward. It says I'm not waiting for something to change. I'm going to be the change. You can't fix anything by standing still. You can't grow by looking backwards. The only direction that leads to answers is forward. And you get there by moving, by acting, by staying committed to the process, even when it's slow, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Because something is changing. You're changing, and that change is building strength. It's building clarity. It's building momentum. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't react to every setback. Act with intention. Move with purpose, because that's how solutions are built. Not in a rush, not in panic, but in steady, consistent forward motion. Speak life into your situation. Your words matter more than you think. What you say to yourself becomes what you believe, And what you believe shapes how you live. Your mind, it isn't just something you're born with, it's something you build every single day. And the tool you use to build it is your voice. You can talk yourself into defeat, or you can talk yourself into determination. You can repeat the pain, or you can declare the purpose. You can focus on what's missing, or speak about what's possible, because your words are seeds, and whatever you plant will grow. If you speak doubt, you'll feed fear. If you speak hope, you'll feed strength. If you speak failure, you'll freeze in place. But if you speak life, you'll find power where you once saw problems. There is power in what you tell yourself when no one's listening. Those quiet moments, early in the morning, late at night when the world is silent, and it's just you and your thoughts. That's where your future begins. That's where battles are won or lost. Not out there, in here, in your mind, and your words are the weapon. You can use them to destroy your confidence, or use them to build your courage. You can say, I can't do this. Or you can say, this is hard, but I'm harder. You can say, nothing's working. Or you can say, I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. The words don't have to be loud. They don't have to be perfect, but they must be intentional. Because your life will follow your language, and if your mouth keeps speaking defeat, your heart will eventually believe it. But if your mouth speaks life, if you remind yourself of your strength, your purpose, your potential, then no challenge can silence you. Speak like you believe in yourself, even if you're still learning how. Speak like you expect better days ahead, even if today feels heavy. Speak like you know who you are, even if the world tries to tell you otherwise. Because every time you choose to speak life, you shift something. Inside of you, around you, you shift energy, you shift perspective, you shift momentum. Words are not just sounds, they're commands. They give direction to your thoughts, and your thoughts direct your actions. So speak wisely, speak boldly, speak intentionally. When things go wrong, speak vision. When fear creeps in, speak courage. When you feel weak, speak strength. And watch how your life begins to follow. Because words create worlds, and if you want a better one, start building it with your voice. Don't let fear or failure paralyze you. They're not the end. They're not a sign to quit. They're just part of the process. Every journey worth taking will come with fear. Every dream worth chasing will bring failure. That's normal. That's human. Fear shows up when you care. Failure shows up when you try. And trying is the only way forward. You will stumble, you will fall, you will doubt yourself, but that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're growing. It means you're in the middle of becoming who you're meant to be. Fear only has power when you give it permission. Failure only becomes permanent when you stop moving. So don't freeze, don't shut down, don't overthink everything until you talk yourself out of action. You're going to mess up sometimes, that's okay. You're going to feel unsure. That's okay too. But you have to keep going, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if you're scared. Progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence. It comes from showing up again and again, no matter how many times you fall. You learn by doing. You grow by failing. You get stronger by pushing through fear, not running from it. If you wait until the fear goes away, you'll be waiting forever. If you wait until you're sure you won't fail, you'll never start. But if you step forward anyway, if you move through the fear, you'll discover just how powerful you really are. Fear wants you to shrink. Failure wants you to stop. But you don't have to listen. You can choose courage. You can choose resilience. You can choose to keep building, even with shaky hands. Because the people who reach their goals, the people who change their lives, they aren't fearless. They just refuse to let fear make their decisions. They aren't perfect. They just refuse to let failure define their future. Every master was once a beginner. Every success story includes setbacks. Every breakthrough came after breakdowns. It's part of the process. It's how you get there, not around it asterisk through asterisk it. So let fear come, let failure happen, but don't stop, don't hide, don't wait for perfect conditions. You are capable of more than you think.
And the fear you feel today, it's just a sign that you're stretching. The failure you face, it's feedback, not final. Keep moving, keep showing up, because the only way to lose is to stop, and you're not here to stop.
You're here to grow, you're here to rise, you're here to move through fear and keep building forward. Quitting is common, it's easy, it doesn't take effort, it doesn't require courage. All it takes is a moment of doubt and a decision to walk away.
And most people do. When it gets uncomfortable, when it gets slow, when progress isn't instant, they stop, they give in. They let the weight of the challenge convince them it's not worth it. But greatness lives on the other side of that moment. Not in the quitting, not in the giving up, but in the refusal to stay down, because perseverance is where transformation begins. It's where strength is built, where character is shaped, where the impossible starts to become possible.
The truth is, nothing extraordinary comes without resistance. Nothing meaningful arrives without a fight. If you want to build something real, you have to be willing to outlast the struggle. You have to keep going when the excitement fades.
You have to press on when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one even believes in you. That's perseverance. It's silent, it's steady, it's not glamorous, but it's powerful. It's what separates average from excellent.
What separates those who almost made it from those who did asterisk? Anyone can start, anyone can try, but the ones who win, they stay, they endure, they take the hits and keep showing up, even when the results are slow,
even when the road is long, even when it feels like nothing's working. They trust the process, they trust themselves, and they understand that every setback, every delay, every failure, it's part of the path to greatness. The pressure you feel, it's shaping you. The resistance you face, it's building you. The struggle you're pushing through, it's preparing you for the breakthrough. Perseverance is not about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. It's not about avoiding difficulty. It's about facing it with grit. It's about saying, this won't break me. This won't be the end of my story. You're going to get tired. You're going to get frustrated. But you have to keep going, because greatness isn't found in comfort zones. It's found in the deep end, where you're stretched, where you're tested, where most people quit. But not you. You keep climbing, you keep pushing, you keep believing, because you know the dream is worth it. The goal is worth it. You are worth it. So don't stop, don't fold, don't settle. Quitting is common. But you weren't made to be common. You were made for more. And more only comes through perseverance. You have a purpose, not just a reason to exist, but a reason to live a reason to wake up every day and keep pushing, a reason that goes deeper than money, deeper than titles, deeper than recognition. It's already inside you. It's not something you find out there. It's something you uncover within. But here's the truth, that purpose stays locked until you shift your focus. You can't unlock it by staring at the problem. You can't unlock it by living in the past. You can't unlock it by waiting for perfect conditions. You unlock it by choosing to act, by choosing to solve, by choosing to move. Purpose doesn't live in excuses. It doesn't live in blame. It doesn't grow in negativity. It grows in action. It grows in movement. It grows in every choice you make to face the problem and still look forward. You want to know why you're here? Start by finding something broken and do your part to fix it. Start by taking what you've been through and using it to lift someone else. Start by asking, not why is this happening to me, but what can I build through this? Because purpose is not a destination. It's not one big moment. It's a series of small decisions, small steps in the direction of growth. And those steps come when you focus on solutions, when you stop asking who's at fault and start asking what you can do, when you stop replaying what went wrong and start imagining what could go right. Your purpose will not scream. It whispers, it nudges, and every time you move forward in the face of uncertainty, you get closer to hearing it clearly. The more you build, the more you create, the more you serve, the more it starts to unfold, not all at once, but piece by piece. Every problem you've faced has shaped you. Every obstacle you've overcome has prepared you. Every lesson you've learned is part of your blueprint. You have a role that only you can play, and the world needs what you have. But you'll never discover it if all you do is focus on what's wrong. You have to rise above the noise. You have to get serious about solutions. You have to let go of what you can't control and start building what you can. Because your purpose isn't waiting for the right time. It's waiting for the right focus. The moment you choose to shift from problems to possibilities, everything starts to change. Everything starts to align. And your purpose, it starts to come alive. Focusing on problems is easy. Anyone can point out what's wrong. Anyone can sit back, fold their arms and say, "This isn't working." That doesn't take strength. That doesn't take vision. It takes no skill to complain, no courage to criticize. You don't have to be smart to see a mess. You just need eyes. You just need a voice. But what makes the difference? What really matters is what you do after you see the problem. Do you dwell on it? Do you let it define your day? Or do you ask, what can I do about it? Because that's where the shift begins. That's where the power lies. It's easy to talk about the cracks in the wall. It's harder to pick up the tools and start repairing them. It's easy to say it's broken. It's harder to ask, how can I help fix it? People love to analyze what's wrong. They write long posts about it. They gossip about it. They blame others for it. But while they talk, someone else is working. While they point fingers, someone else is building solutions. And in the end, it's not the talkers who make the change. It's the doers, the builders, the quiet problem solvers behind the scenes. You want to make progress? Then stop rehearsing the problem over and over again in your mind. Start rehearsing the solution. Start imagining the fix. Start seeing the path forward, not the wall in your way. You have to train your mind to move beyond the obvious. Everyone sees the storm, but can you find shelter? Can you be the shelter? Can you create calm in the chaos? Because leadership isn't found in the complaint. It's found in the solution. Greatness doesn't come from identifying what's broken. It comes from having the heart to fix it, from saying, this situation is tough, but I'm tougher, from choosing to act instead of echoing negativity. Your energy is limited, and what you focus on grows. So if all you do is focus on problems, guess what? You'll find more of them. You'll feel stuck. You'll feel powerless. But if you focus on solutions, if you direct your energy toward progress, you'll start to rise. You'll feel capable. You'll feel strong. And slowly, the world around you will start to shift. Because you're not just reacting anymore. You're creating. You're changing. You're choosing the harder path, but the one that leads forward. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop living in the shadow of fear, doubt, or delay. You were created for more. You were built with something powerful inside your voice, a vision, a purpose that the world needs right now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. So rise, shift your focus, speak life, move forward. Don't just talk about change, be the change. Don't just look at the problem, be the solution. Because the moment you stop letting fear control you, the moment you stop letting failure define you, the moment you stop waiting for motivation and start building with discipline, that's the moment you unlock your greatness. And when you do, you won't just change your life, you'll change everything around you. Now go, walk in purpose and never look back.